Three, two, one, and action. What is up, Travels with Buddy Nation? Buddy, what's going on? Today is Saturday, June 6th. It's getting warm outside. It's got to be like, yesterday was in the 90s. Today's supposed to be about in the 90s as well. And today I'm going to do some one-arm dumbbell rows. I've done these before on these videos. Today I'm going to do those with my smart belt. This is the first time I'm doing it with the smart belts. Not going to go that heavy because I only got, my smart belts only go up to 52.5 pounds. So I'm going to pyramid the sets. I'll start light and I'll go a little bit heavier. And the way I do the one-arm dumbbell row is I put my knee over the bench and I have one arm, and I brace myself on the bench with one arm, and I do the row with the other arm. When I do it like that, I can really bring my back to it's almost parallel to the floor, and I get a really good stretch. I think it's probably one of the best exercises that I do for my back and for the lats and the back of the shoulders. Between that exercise and the dumbbell pullover, I think are two of the best exercises for the back and shoulders. Even with all the cable machines I got and everything, I think those are two of the best exercises. And I know some people say that to do the one-arm dumbbell row is to do it like in the A-frame style, where you're leaning over and you maybe have one arm on your knee, and then you do the row like this. Like, I can do one-arm dumbbell rows with Buddy. You can be my little dumbbell. And even like athletes like Jeff Cavaliere on his videos, he says to do them like that, because doing them the way that I do them, he says, is you can give yourself a hernia or whatever. I think this is the best way for me to do this exercise. I've been doing this exercise ever since I was a teenager, consistently every, at least, maybe at least once a month or once every couple of months or whatever. I've never gotten that heavy. I always watch my form, and I don't even use a belt when I do this exercise, and I've never had a hernia or anything from it. I always warm up light, and I always watch my form. And I got to tell you, this exercise is for the row. I think is probably the most effective row that I do for myself anyway. I don't know, it might be different for somebody else, but between doing cable rows and seated cable rows, barbell rows, the one-arm dumbbell row I think is the most effective, because you're bracing yourself on the bench, and you can go relatively heavy because you're doing one arm at a time, and I believe it takes a lot of the pressure off the lower back, because you have one knee on the bench and you're pulling up, you're probably pulling the weight up, and I feel it's a good exercise. I think it's better than the A-frame style, but like I say, everybody's built differently. You got to give this exercise a try. Do a one-arm dumbbell row off the bench the way that I'm going to demonstrate it, as I've done before. I'm going to put Bud in the other room. He's got the fan going on in the other room to keep him nice and cool. And I don't want to go too heavy today because it is hot. So I'm going to keep the weight relatively light. Well, I'll do a full stack on here, which is 52.5. With this exercise, typically, like in the winter when I do it, I'll go up to like 70 or 80 pounds on the dumbbell, and I'll use my plates rather than my smart belts. But since it's hot, I'm not going to train that heavy. Usually when it's really hot, I don't usually train that heavy. But I'll demonstrate the one-arm dumbbell row. So make sure you stay tuned and check it out. I'll put Bud in the other room. He's going to chill right next to the fan with the TV on, and he'll be chilling. Maybe I'll take him for a walk when the sun goes down a little bit, when it's a little cooler out. Then I'll take him for a walk, because I don't want to take him for a walk when it's too hot out, huh, Bud? So make sure you stay tuned and check out the video. All right, I'm going to start the one-arm dumbbell row. I'm going to start with my left arm. I put my right knee on the bench. I'm going to try to bring my back towards like parallel to the floor. And I'll go for about 12 reps. Count along with me. 12. Next I'm gonna try to do 12 with my right arm. Alright, I'm gonna try to get 12 with my right arm. As you can see, I got my left knee on the bench. And I'm gonna try to bring my body towards like parallel to the floor. And I try to get 12 reps. Alright, now I think that exercise, doing it that way, is better than doing it like the A-frame style when you get one hand on the knee and going like this. For one, you can go heavier. Two, you're using the bench to stabilize your body. And for me, I think and I get a much better stretch on my back and my hips. Anyways, I'm gonna rest for about a minute or two. I'm gonna add a little bit more weight to the dumbbell and do another set, so stay tuned. Alright, I'm close to maxing out my dumbbell. I got a 50-pound dumbbell. Now let's do like 10 reps with this. And it's getting warm in here. I'll try to get 10 anyway. Count along with me. I got 10 on my left arm, and next I'm gonna do 10 on my right arm. Alright, let's see if I can get 10 on my right arm. As you can see, I got my left knee on the bench. Try to bring my back as parallel to the floor as I can. And like I say, it would be really hard to do this without the support of a bench. You know, like a lot of people, they say they like to do it the A-frame style. It's probably, they say it's safer. For me, I don't see how it is, but I like doing them like this. And this is the old-fashioned way. It's the old school way. He's doing the 70s and the 80s. But I'll try to get 10 reps, so count along with me. Okay, I'll do one more set, add on a little bit more weight. It'll be my max at 52.5, so be all the weight on my smart belt. Then I'll do one more set, and I'll try to get 10 reps with that. So stay tuned. All right, I got a full stack, and or 52.5 pounds. I'm gonna do one more set. I'm gonna start with my left arm and see what I can do. I'm going to try to get 10 reps. Count along with me. Alright, I got 10 reps with that, and like I said, I didn't even use a belt, and I'm 54 years old, it's 52.5 pounds, and it felt great. I got a good stretch, good row, and felt really good leaning on the bench like that. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do my right arm. I'm gonna see how many reps I can get my right arm up. Hopefully I'll get 10. Alright, I'm gonna do my final set for my right arm. And I'm gonna try to get 10 reps. Count along with me. I got 10 reps, and I gotta tell you, that's the best row that I know. That is the best row that I know. I mean, you can do cable rows, you can do seated cable rows, lat pull downs, barbell rows. I think this is better than a barbell row because you're leaning on the bench and you're stabilizing your body on the bench. You can get a really deep row because you're leaning on the bench. I think it's better than the A-frame one-arm dumbbell row. I think that is the king of the rows, is the one-arm dumbbell row as you're kneeling on the bench like that, old school style. I think so. For me anyway, I've been doing this exercise ever since I was in my early teens, you know, consistently. And I've never had any issues with it. And again, like I said, I'm 54 years old and I don't even use a belt when I do that. And the only reason why I'm only going to 52.5 pounds because it's like 90 degrees outside. And I don't have my air conditioner on yet and it's hot in here. But usually if I was going to go heavier, I use my old-fashioned dumbbells with the plates. And I would just load on the plates. And I'd go up to maybe 80 pounds or maybe about 80 pounds. And I'd get like 6 or 8 reps. But that's after like 5 or 6 warm-up sets. And but even then I don't use a belt because I'm leaning on the bench as a stabilizer. I think it's a great exercise. Remember, all you need is a dumbbell and a bench. If you have one, give it a try. And just make sure when you do this exercise to warm up, use a light dumbbell when you're warming up. Remember, have an awesome day. If you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to Travels with Buddy. Have an awesome day.